and hopefully my cat lets me actually film this. Hello! Don't let the microphone fool you. I don't know what I'm doing here. But yeah, so I never hit record on the microphone. So all of the audio came through my iPhone instead. So sorry, the audio does not sound great. NMIXX, in case you're not familiar, is a 7-member JYP girl group that debuted February 22nd, 2022, which I just realized is 2/22/22 or 22/2/22. All twos, that's fun. I like that. And there's 2 X's in their name. That's fun. And they're all born between the years of 2002 and 2006. It's very strange as a longtime K-pop fan to have gone from all of the idols being older than me to them all suddenly being younger than me, up to 10 years younger than me. That's fine. But so they're all between the ages of 16 and 20, roughly. So their comeback dates happened recently, and I have to talk about it, and I figured this would be a good way to do it. We're gonna start though with talking about OO. So we can, because this isn't really to talk about Dice per se, their comeback. This is to talk about NMIXX as a whole so far. And before we go any further, in-class assignment. I'm giving you an in-class assignment. Pause my video, go listen to OO. Watch the music video, listen to the song. I encourage you to do both, because there is a slight difference between the music video version of the song and the actual studio version of the song that you'll hear on Spotify or iTunes. You probably can guess what it is. It's not like a big deal. Well, I think it's a medium-sized deal, this sized deal. So you can go ahead and pause the video and go do that. All right, welcome back. So when this song came out, people, it seemed, went a little nuts. So the only reason that I knew that their debut happened at all, though, was because people were immediately talking shit. Immediately. Now, maybe you agree and you don't like the song and you think it's insane. That's fine. That's fine. I'm not here to tell you you're wrong or anything. So obviously the 2 things that people freaked out about, though, were the lyrics and the song structure itself. I should have put one of my plants on the table. Hold on. Plants on the table. I can do another plant. Why didn't I think of this before I started filming? I'm back. Anyway, the lyrics, they're not great. There's a lot of nonsense in the lyrics. But to be fair, a lot of lyrics are bad. Even if they sound fine when you listen to them, lyrics don't always matter. Of course, sometimes they do. Of course, and if that's something that you really care about, that's totally cool. But when it comes to dance music, for example, does it really matter? Anyway, forget about the lyrics. I don't care about the lyrics. Whatever. The change up. This is why I wanted you to both watch the music video and just listen to the song on iTunes or Spotify or whatever. Because not the transition between the first and second section is fantastic. The music video version with that big pause really hurts it. I first listened to the song watching the music video, and it was so out of nowhere. I don't know, I don't remember if I knew that was one of the things people were complaining about with the song, like if I was anticipating it. But starting the next part of the song like that after pausing really, really makes it feel like two totally separate songs that were just like stuck together. I think it works a little bit better in this like iTunes, Spotify, Prime Mute, whatever you use to stream. The like regular version, I think, does feel a lot more coherent because it doesn't have that pause. I don't know who decided to do that, but it was a bad idea. Even again, the transition isn't fantastic. The transition isn't great, but it works a little bit better without there being so much silence in between. Having the space really makes it feel like it's different songs. And I thought that the song sounded like 3 unfinished demos, just like Frankenstein monstered together. It's actually only 2. The first and the third part of the song are the same song. I realized scrubbing back and forth, they sound kind of different, but they sound like they can be the same song. It's that middle section that's obviously way different. And actually, it might be my favorite part of the song. I really like that kind of like girly pop. I'm bad at describing genres. What is it called? Whatever. You know what I mean. You listened to the song. You listened to the song before you watched the video. I think it's fun. I have fun. I mean, I feel kind of cheated that we didn't just get 2 distinct songs, because I think both halves of the song would make good independent songs, and I truly do get the suspicion. I do feel like it's 2 separate demos, just like stacked on top of each other in a trench coat. Partially because look at the credits on this song. There are so many people who worked on this song, and yet it still sounds like that. To be totally honest, I kind of like it. I was confused the first time I heard it, not the first time that has happened to me, where I was confused or didn't like a song and then gave it a chance, gave it another couple of listens, and it grew on me, and now I like it. Some people think that's a problem. I don't, but I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm going to talk about that later in a minute. I lost the thread. Oh yeah, no, it's definitely like was supposed to be 2 different songs that they just kind of like, why finish this one and this one when we can just stick them together? That is my suspicion, or at least it was my suspicion. Now I'm not as sure now. I wonder if that was the plan all along. Like, is this just the creative vision for NMIXX? Because I guess now's a good time to pause and go listen to Dice if you haven't heard it yet. So yeah, pause. Alright, welcome back again. How did I feel about Dice when I heard it? Edgar, I was very curious to see how they were going to handle the comeback, considering all the negativity around OO. Were they going to try something new? Were they going to try something new and experimental again? Were they going to go a safer route? I kind of assumed that they would still do something a little bit. I thought that they would do something Itzy-like. Certainly didn't think that they would just like remake OO. When I heard the NMIXX change up, but how does it go? Edgar, how does it go? That's not it. Hold on. There it is. I actually got really excited. When I heard that part of the song, I was like, oh, we're doing it again. And honestly, I was instantly there. I was instantly with it. I know. And same thing when I heard like the metronome click or whatever, bringing back like the first section at the end of the middle section. I was like ready for it. I was kind of like waiting in anticipation. And it was actually very satisfying when it came back. And that's the power of familiarity. And like now I'm glad that they dug their heels in and did it again. And I think that Dice does it way better than OO. I think that Dice sounds and feels more coherent, especially on the first listen through. But also, like, I think it helps that their first song had the same structure. Like, that structure was already in our head. And then when they pulled it back out of their little bag of tricks, Edgar, mommy's talking. Don't argue with me. Come here. Hello. This is Edgar. He's very chatty because he's blind. He's a very sweet boy. It's a structure that we had already heard before with Dice. And I think, yeah, the contrast between the sections isn't as high in Dice, and that certainly helps as well. But it's interesting that they decided to pull out the exact same structure 2 times in a row. That was mean! Edgar, I told them you were nice. But so now I'm wondering, is this just the creative vision for what NMIXX is going to be? Is this what they're gonna do? I mean, to be clear, I don't think that they're going to make every single one of their title tracks like sound like this. But I think it is significant that they did it twice, especially after the first time. Arguably, didn't really land quite well. So was this like their plan all along that they wanted to? Is this why they're called NMIXX? Because they're planning to like make every single song like a matchup? Probably not. But it's interesting. And honestly, is it really that weird even? So many K-pop songs in particular have really drastically contrasting elements in them. And it's just that it's usually like the pre-chorus or like the verses in the chorus have a lot of contrast. Or maybe it's the bridge, aespa. Is this really that different from those aespa songs? Is it really? No. And maybe you're like, yeah, of course. Of course they're not that different. I hate the aespa songs too. Or maybe you like both. Whatever. I'm just saying. I feel like we were much quicker to embrace the aespa songs than this NMIXX song that when it first came out. I'm talking about. I don't really know what the general reception is for Dice yet. But, I mean, hopefully it's more positive than was, because people were mean. I'm not gonna lie. Is it really that different to have the contrasting section of the song be like the second verse rather than, the pre-chorus or the bridge or something? Because that's basically all it is. It's taking their concept of having like these 2 drastically contrasting parts within a song and just organizing them a little bit different. And I think, especially with Dice, it's cool if you just let it wash over you. If you just embrace it, it's cool. It's fun. Basically, what it boils down to is, especially when it comes to pop music, what we like is so strongly dictated by what you are familiar with, what you are used to. Like, our brains enjoy hearing and seeing patterns, and we like the familiarity. We like, to some degree, the predictability. That's just how the human brain works. When you listen to a pop song and you expect it to be, like verse, chorus, bridge, chorus, or some variation of that, or you listen to a song that's gonna have that more like EDM-y structure where it's like the pre-chorus with the build and the drop and then the synths and then all of that. It's because you've heard it 1,000 times before. Like, it's a pattern that you're now comfortable with and you can go along with. When songs like Oh Oh come out and they defy our expectations, it's not surprising that there are people who have very negative reactions. And if you don't want to listen to music that defies your expectations, that's fine. If you want to stick with your definition of good music as being music that's immediately likable or likable within the first couple of listens and immediately accessible, and you want to operate with that definition for yourself, cool, fine. When I heard Dice and I heard the transitions in Dice, both transitions, I was ready for it. It was satisfying to hear. I really immediately liked this song. I mean, maybe I would have liked the song anyway, but I do think that part of it is because we heard Oh Oh. We were familiar enough with the structure for it to not throw us off and just enjoy it. And I think that that is fascinating. And I like NMIXX. I think that they have shown a lot of talent, like in their vocals and their performances. The few that I've seen, I really liked them. I liked the B-side that came on Oh Oh, and I kind of like the B-side that's on this one too. They had another song that I was not aware of that happened. I don't think they promoted it. Honestly, when I listened to it, it was almost like disappointingly normal. I kind of wanted it to be something like weird and out there and like have a, strange structure. It was almost a little disappointed that it was such a straightforward song. I hope that Dice does well. Again, I have no idea how it's doing, but I hope it does well. And I hope that they continue to be a little bit weird. Edgar, don't you dare. Anyway, if you don't like it, you don't like it. You're entitled to your opinion. Everybody has different tastes. Everybody has their own tastes. Please don't knock into the table, Edgar. You don't have to like it. Personally, I do. And speaking of aespa, and speaking of Frankenstein songs, I thought maybe I was going to talk about it here, but I also don't want this video to be super long because I don't expect people to watch like a super long video. But if anybody's interested, I would maybe consider making a video talking about this long, it's not even a trend at this point, it's like a trope of having sort of like mashup songs in K-pop. Because I think that's really interesting. I think it's fun. I like it. I like experimentation. Bring some fresh material in. Because it's, we tend to have these trend cycles where everything kind of starts to sound the same, and then like a new trend starts and it changes and we get a new sound. But I think it's fun to have these like shots of something a little bit different. Even if it's still following in like a larger trend, at least give us like a slightly different flavor to try out. And particularly right now, I think is an interesting moment in K-pop, because particularly I think what we're seeing in the girl groups specifically, like debut girl groups this year specifically, I feel like we have two opposing forces at work, sort of, at like this minimalism versus maximalism thing happening. We are continuing to see like more and more like experimental music, more and more like maximalist, like big sounds. But at the same time, we're seeing groups really succeed with like more simple and straightforward songs also. Like New Jeans, their songs and their music videos are pretty like minimalist compared to a lot of other K-pop, and they're doing well. They have their own stuff going on that people want to talk about, but whatever. Even the IVE songs, like those are very straightforward dance songs. Even the Blackpink comeback is very straightforward and minimalist, which is a whole separate thing. Another video I would potentially want to make is I kind of want to make a whole video just reviewing all of Blackpink's discography. Not that it's a lot, but that's kind of the point. Let me know if you'd be interested in that too. Anyway, we have these two different sort of trends. This one that's kind of more long-standing and ongoing with stuff that's more maximalist, stuff that's a little bit more experimental, and now, not that all K-pop has been like that, but I think now there seems to be this emerging trend of going sort of in the opposite direction, things that are more straightforward and simple. I wouldn't be surprised if we hear more of that now. I hope that both continue. K-pop is super derivative of Western popular music forms, particularly those that come from Black culture, because Black people made jazz, blues, rock and roll. I feel like just in the time that I've been a K-pop fan, I've gotten to see it become more and more its own sound. And I think it's cool to see trends evolve and maybe even become sort of like subgenres that get to develop. I think that there's plenty of space for both, you know, a New Jeans and an NMIXX to exist at the same time. You don't have to like both of them. You don't have to like either of them. Thinking back to, you know, a few months ago when NMIXX debuted, there was so much negativity. And I don't want to be all like, oh, those poor girls. Like, I don't want to be all like pitying or anything. But truly, they have a lot of potential as a group. And I think that their music is good. And I'm very interested to see what they do next. I don't imagine that they'll keep doing the exact same structure over and over, but especially if we are going to get a wave of, you know, new groups or existing groups doing more dialed back minimalist songs that are a bit more, again, straightforward. I hope that we also get to keep all of our fun experimental songs. That was a lot. That was all over the place. I don't see a timer on my audio recording. I have no idea how long this recording is. I also don't know how to edit videos. So will this ever see the light of day? I guess if you're watching it, the answer is yes. All right. I didn't even consider how I would sign this off. Like, leave a comment, let me know what you think. Did you like OO? Did you like Dice? Did you like one but not the other? And I guess subscribe. I'm supposed to say that. No guarantee that I'll ever make another video, though I already I already had said to in this video that I would potentially want to make. I didn't even decide what to call the channel yet. Whatever. Thanks for listening. Bye.